Hey everyone, Dave Wilson here. In this video I want to give you a brief overview of what you'll need to do to establish and install your blog. I'll cover all the major steps and give you some terms that you should be familiar with. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to do is purchase a domain name. The domain name is the address of your website. Some popular domain names are facebook.com, google.com, and yahoo.com. Once you've decided on a domain name, and you'll find information about how to do this in other parts of the training, you'll go to a domain name registrar and make your purchase. You'll purchase your domain name for at least a year, and you'll have to continue renewing the domain each year after that. GoDaddy.com is probably the biggest registrar on the web. They're not the cheapest, but we're only talking about $10 or so a year, so it's really not worth shopping around too much for. One quick tip though is do a search on Google for GoDaddy coupon codes, and you'll find a bunch of sites offering discounts of a few dollars off your purchase. Once you've obtained your domain name, you'll need to purchase web hosting for your new site. Web hosting is basically disk space on a web server where you'll install your website. Now there are thousands of web hosts you choose from, and deciding which one can be a bit daunting. We recommend you purchase hosting that runs on Linux cPanel platform. Linux cPanel is pretty much the web standard, so it's easy to find hosts using these technologies. You can get good quality hosting from HostGator for under $10 a month, and you can get an even better deal if you prepay for a few months. Once you have your hosting, you'll have to point your domain name to the new server. This is called changing the DNS, or changing the name servers. DNS, name servers, domain name servers are all terms that are used interchangeably. They're just scary sounding names for something that's really pretty simple. The DNS is essentially an index of websites. The index contains basically two pieces of information: the domain name and the location of the server that site resides on. So when a web server types a site name into the address bar on their browser, say google.com, a request is made to the name server, the browser sends the domain name, and the DNS returns the physical server where the domain resides. While a pretty simple concept, the DNS actually has to have a record of every single website in the world. Each of the world's domain name registrars have to maintain their own piece of this database. So when you obtain your hosting, you'll receive an email with the proper DNS settings. There are usually two different values, and they'll look something like ns1.someservername.com and ns2.someservername.com. The first thing you'll have to do is go back to your domain name registrar, which was probably GoDaddy, and update the name servers with the new values you just received. After you make your changes, there is usually a waiting period of up to 24 hours before those changes take effect. Remember, your registrar only has a fraction of the world's domains, so their information has to be combined with data from all the other registrars, and this process is known as propagation. Until this data has propagated, you won't be able to access your new hosting space. Anyway, once the DNS has finished, you'll be able to visit your hosting space by typing in the domain name into your browser's address bar. However, you're not done yet. You still have to install your blog. Now, if you use the Linux cPanel host like we recommended, you'll be able to install your blog using an installer known as Fantastico. Fantastico is a system that helps you install a variety of scripts on your hosting account. Among these scripts is WordPress. Now what's great about Fantastico is that it'll take care of all the details for you. It'll install the script, and it'll create and connect the database to it. All this stuff happens automatically and within a few minutes with Fantastico. Now once you're done, you'll have a fully functional blog that you can start posting to. So this has been a brief overview of the things you'll need to do to get your site up and running. In future videos we'll go into more depth in some of these processes. Thanks for listening.